Hey guys, I'm here with the salmon again as their tank warms up another degree this chilly day. And today I'm going to give you an update, but also answer some questions. Remember when you asked a lot of questions about salmon on Post-it notes and we made a big poster of them? Today and in the future, I hope to answer a lot of the questions that you guys had about the Atlantic salmon. The theme that I saw from your Post-it notes in this pile was, how do salmon grow? You had some questions about eggs. A lot of people were wondering what salmon eat, and in this case, what eats salmon. A lot of you were wondering about how much they weigh and their length in each stage. And a lot of people were wondering how long salmon live. And several people wondered why salmon tend to die right after they lay their eggs. My hope is to answer some of these questions today. First, questions about salmon eggs. How many eggs do salmon lay? The answer is it varies. Fisheries and Oceans Canada says that the Atlantic salmon lay up to 1,500 to 1,800 eggs per kilogram of body weight. So that means that a large salmon could lay about 8,000 eggs. How many babies survive? According to the Atlantic Salmon Federation, only a tiny percent of Atlantic salmon survive to adulthood. If that pretty large salmon laid those 8,000 eggs, only about 2 would survive to become adults. That's really low. Alevin. In the wild, eggs and alevin stay in the protection of gravel and streams. They don't go out into the current until their yolk sac is used up and they're strong enough to swim to the surface. Alevin, the stage our salmon are in right now, are only about an inch long each. Fry. This is the stage that we will release the salmon. Our goal is to get the salmon into their home stream, Sebatis stream, within 2 weeks of becoming fry. Once the first alevin becomes a fry, we'll start to keep track so we can get them in at Sebatis stream at Gilson Farm right on time. What do salmon eat? According to the U.S. Fish and Wildlife website, young salmon in rivers eat microscopic animals and aquatic insects. That's why we need to release them as fry so they can start eating. While they're alevin with yolk sacs, they don't need to eat every day. As adults in the ocean, they'll eat bigger things like squid, shrimp, other fish, and mollusks. Smolt. How much do smolt weigh? How big are they? Smolt are about 6 inches long. They also weigh about 1/10 to 2/10 of a pound. That's the same as half a stick of butter. When do salmon begin their journey? They don't begin their journey until they're about 1 to 3 years old. So these salmon will be swimming around the Androscoggin River and Sebatis Stream, maybe even Merrymeeting Bay, for the next 1 to 3 years before they head out to the ocean. Adults. How much does an adult salmon weigh? How long is the adult salmon? According to the U.S. Fish and Wildlife website, the average length for an Atlantic salmon is 28 to 30 inches, and the average weight is 8 to 12 pounds. That's about the same as a bag of flour or your pet cat. How old do they get? After 1 to 2 years at sea, the Atlantic salmon return to their home streams to spawn. So if they can take up to 3 years to get to sea and up to 2 years to return, an old salmon could be 5 years. According to NOAA, the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, Atlantic salmon live 3 to 7 years. When do they lay eggs? Salmon lay eggs in the fall. The eyed eggs we got were a couple months old. Do they die after they have eggs? According to the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service, most male Atlantic salmon do die after spawning. The females are the ones that lay the eggs. 10 to 40%, so some but not all, less than half, of the females survive and return to the ocean to do the whole journey again. Of those females that return, though, only 0 to 6% spawn a second time. So in a salmon's lifetime, they'll usually spawn only once to get all those eggs. You guys had more questions. Stay tuned for salmon body parts and the salmon journey. Questions and answers.